Yeah, there's that line in the movie Wall Street where I think the head of the floor puts Bud Fox and walks him down the floor, and he said, "Man looks into the abyss. There's nothing looking back at him, and that's when man finds his character." And I'm wondering, like, where do you go, Anthony, when you have a day like that, where it's dark, 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 dark? Like, what keeps you out of the abyss? What kept you out of the abyss?
So it's interesting, I think you're born with some levels of resiliency in your personality, but you also, your life experiences can have a very big impact on you. One of the things my dad once said to me, I was complaining about my job at Goldman Sachs. I was a young punk at the time, and he was a laborer. He had worked with his hands. He was a crane operator. He looked at me and he said, "Son, you're indoors, you're out of direct sunlight, and there's no heavy lifting. You should not be complaining about this job." And I thought about what he said, and he was right. We can have a tendency sometimes to be miserable and not really put things in perspective. And so that was very helpful to me. I've had fits and starts as an entrepreneur where I've had my series of successes and failures, and I knew that the number one thing I needed to do was keep moving. And you got to show up in the morning. And so when I was bounced like that and hit as hard as I was, you can actually look at pictures of me from that time, at least I can, and I can see the blow. I can see the look in my face and the tenseness of the muscles in my face and the stomach blast that I took as a result of it. And, and I know that I'm gritting my teeth through it. And I'm hoping, like Albert Schweitzer once said, this too will pass. And of course it did. But it didn't pass on its own. It had to be passed through a good spirit and a good will and a discipline. Excuse me.
Yeah, and action too. I mean, you kept moving forward. And we were talking about it 2.5 years later, and you were still willing to talk about it. That's even surprising to me.
I'm happy to talk about it because I think it's very instructive for younger people. I think younger people need to learn from people like us. You can fail, you can make a mistake, but if you go forward, there's opportunity. And the other thing is be nice to people. Because let me tell you something, Brian, if I was a mean-spirited bully type of a guy and I got hit like that, I would have never been able to rebuild myself the way I have. But by being nice to people, so many people came out of the woodwork to help me. So that expression that your grandmother talked about where be nice to the people on the way up the ladder because you're going to meet the same people on the way down. That's 100% true. Be nice. Remember that everything's ephemeral.
Have you always been nice?
Listen, I would like to think so. I mean, in business, sometimes you're making hard decisions. I have my share of haters. Somebody was doing due diligence on me once, and he said, "Well, this is what was said about you." I said, "Well, okay, but that guy's never worked with me. That guy's never been a client of mine. That guy's never been somebody that was employed in a company that I ran, or he never worked alongside of me at Goldman Sachs." I said, "He doesn't even know who I am. Why don't you go to the people that have actually met me and worked with me and interacted with me, and then you'll get, at least if they hate me then that's fine. But just hating me from a distance, I don't think is a good due diligence thing. I mean, if you're breaking eggs and you have a forceful personality and you are sharing your opinion, people are going to dislike you. It's just the way it works. I mean, Mother Teresa had her haters, I don't know why, but she did."